Morning guys. So, Saturday morning stretch coming up. We did a lot of focus up around the neck, shoulders area, wrist, chest. We're going to work our way down through the body. Just grab a mat if you need one. So, we're going to start off, just relax that down, and we're going to mobilise the joints down through first, and then we're going to work into the actual stretch itself. We start with just shoulder rolls. Just breathe. Two big rolls up around and back. And listen out through them shoulders and into the neck. And then forward. Relax out. From there, neck, we're going to work through. Turn the head to the side, you need to stretch down to this side. Opposite side, get stretched to the opposite side. Good. One more. Then we're going to do circle one way and then circle our way. We're not going to circle right round, so we're going to circle up. So push your chin forward here, then circle down around. And if you feel like you're tight on one side, just give a wee bit more emphasis on that side on the lean. I feel this side more than the other side. So I'm just going to, on the circle, I'm going to just give that pull a wee bit more that way. And back to center. From there, just up, push your chin forward. Look down. Your shoulders relaxed and back. Look up. Chin forward. Look down. From that. Just relax that. Plant the feet. And then we're going to go into those big arm circles. And back the opposite way. Relax that. Palms up, palms to the ceiling, and stretch back, close it in. From there, we're going to 45 at side to side, so breathe and relax. Back there, I'll say. And if you're tight up around the shoulders, you'll feel that one. So just listen that out. From there, just have circles. Opposite way. And back to center, nice and relaxed. So from there, just cross the arms over, and from that, we're going to rotate the waist. So just rotate to one side, back to center, other side, back to center. Breathe as you go through. You can turn your head with this, but if you find that you've a bit of vertigo and that makes you dizzy, you just keep your head looking forward. And again, we don't want you just moving the arms, doing this. The arms are fixed so that we're turning the chest. I want that forearms facing the wall, not by doing this, by turning that chest. Let's get that lower back, thoracic spine. And then we're going to extend this, get into that pec. So as you turn, we're going to stretch. Back to center, touch chest, stretch. Back to center. Loosen that out. working up, we're going to work down into the knees. So we're going to do feet together, we're going to do hands on top of the thighs, semicircles down around, keeping the heels planted. One more. And then opposite way. And back to center. We're going to work into the ankle joint. So up in the ball of the foot. From there, we're just circling that heel. Good big long circles around the heel. Opposite way. Chin sides. Point toe. Circles. Opposite way. Back to center. Relax that. So we're going to do a couple of leg swings. So balance underneath. You balance as well and just bring the chair so that you can see what you do. So with your leg swings, what we're trying to do is mobilize through that hip and then hamstring and glute. So you balance on one foot, balance against the chair, and then you start small. Leg reasonably locked out from here, and then you're just stretching. So you're getting stretch here on the way back, stretch here on the way forward. If you're mobile, you can really concentrate on that swing. If you're not, keep it low. I'm just putting more into it for myself because I can, because of things like your kickboxing. This is the sort of thing you've done to loosen out through the hip before you were going into kicks. Plant the foot, small movement forward and back. If this is enough and you're getting a good sort of bit of hip mobility out of this, that's fine. If you can, you can start to overemphasize it, but don't force it because you don't want to pull a hamstring or pull your hip. I can go to here because, again, 10 years of kickboxing, I'm still pretty mobile from that. Just not as mobile anymore. And slow it down. We're going to use balance again, and then we're going to do the same thing for the AD and adductors from here. So we're going to swing forward, swing out to the side. Again, it can be low. If you need the chair in front of you using two hands on that chair, do that. I'm just going to give it a little bit more. The main thing here is that you're not moving the body when you're doing this here. There's no point getting to here and then leaning into it to try and get the leg higher. It's about letting the leg be free to swing to the height that it's able to. Change sides. Across. You make them one side tighter than the other. Make this left side down, make that tighter than the right side. When I swing out, just need to be careful with it. And slow that down. Good. I'm going to keep that chair for later, do better on that. So we're going to work down onto the floor. Actually, we won't work on the floor, we'll work from the top down. So, press ups, wrists, shoulders, upper body, takes a beating. So we're going to do a bit on that there. So things that we can do to overemphasize the stretches now. So we're going to start with our actual stretching. We're going to do the basic stretch where we've got a push up in the back. And we're going to hold that stretch. So like I said, we're going to work from top down today. Usually I start with the lower body and work up. We're going to work top down today. So from here. The way you can emphasize this stretch is that if you're in a doorway, the likes of the window or something like that, is the hand goes to the top and then you take a step through here. So my arm's locked in the position and then I step through like this and then the hand stays locked, arm stays straight. So now I'm getting the stretch coming down into that shoulder, upper and lower, or rear delt, sorry if I'm trying to say here. So breathe in and then breathe out lean forward. Deep breathing as you do this. And then we'll bring that out. So everything we're doing for about 6 breath cycles. So breathe in, breathe out. That's 1 cycle. We're doing about 6 for each one. Opposite side. Again, this can be done at the door. Go to the door if you need, or go against the wall. You can do it just against the wall. If your shoulders are particularly tight, you can just step into it. And you'll get a good lat stretch even there. So from here, up, face the wall, and then lean in. So I'm getting this here, into the lat, into that shoulder, and breathe. Again, keep your ribcage locked down. Don't flare up with that ribcage because you're losing the stretch. The body should be pretty straight and rigid. Bring that out. So we're going to work into a high pec stretch. So where we do things like this here, you're getting your pec stretch. What we're going to do today is we're going to go to 45 against the wall. We're actually going to go in against the wall, and then we're going to rotate the body away. So I'm going to put my hand up high at a 45-degree angle from here. I'm going to step into the wall. This might be enough for you to get that stretch like that. For me now, it's pretty damn tight there. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to twist my body this way and then lean into that wall. And that's a huge stretch in that pec into the bicep. And breathe. Remember, go to the point where you've got a stretch, but it's not fighting against you. Once your body starts fighting against you, you've lost the stretch. Breathe. All your little Golgi tendons that control sort of muscle activation and stops you from going too far. Relax that out. Good. If they're vibrating, they're telling you to stop because you're trying to go too far. You want to go to the point where you've got that stretch, but you're not vibrating. Because once you start vibrating, you're not stretching anymore. So high, into the wall, and rotate. So I'm getting it right from pretty much my nipple up through into the shoulder, and then from the shoulder right down through that bicep. Breathe. One more. And if you're tightening the shoulder, you're going to find that. We're going to do the same thing now, parallel. Out, and we step into the wall, and then we rotate. And this is really getting down into that bicep. If you're wondering why bicep, I keep mentioning that whenever it's not like your bicep curl isn't involved in your press ups. Your bicep crosses over the joint, the bicep tendon, and then the pec tendon attaches onto the arm just above the bicep. So the two of them cross over each other, and if one's tight, the other can be tight. And bring that out, same thing other side. At times people get bicep strains, but they're actually tight up around here, and it's pulling because they're crossing over each other. So, oh, I have to knock pictures off the wall. So palm flat against the wall, rotate. And this side is nowhere near as tight as this side. Breathe. Bring that out. Woo. Okay, now. Go and use that chair. So if you have a kitchen chair, if you don't, you can use a sofa. On the back of the chair that you're on. So we're going to do a similar thing for that upper back. So here, flat back. So don't slouch down into it. If you slouch into a stretch, you've lost the stretch. Hands on the hand or on that chair. Back's flat. I'm going to sit back like a deadlift here. So I'm going to get a good stretch here in the hamstring first. Hands are just at the edge of the chair at shoulder distance, and then I'm going to push myself through. So I'm not arching my back, what I'm not doing is this here, arching and leaning down. What I'm doing is I'm staying straight, and then I'm pulling back and pushing my shoulders through. You get a big stretch in the rear shoulders, upper back. from there, reach across, and again we're going to pull that through. So we're grabbing the wrist, we're pulling so that we get a big stretch down through here. What we want to do is rotate with it. Keep straight, pull through, breathe. Back to center, same thing on the other side, pull through. So again, the lats stabilize in your press up. So if you're doing a lot of press ups, you're going to have those lats firing up. Back to center. So arms should be a little bit looser now. Shoulders should be a little bit looser. We're going to do this on the floor with the hands behind like we did the other day. So we'll wait till we go to the floor for that. So relax the knees, chin tuck, top of the head. Breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out, breathe out. Breathe in. And then breathe out. On the way up, head is the last to come up. Top of the head is the last to pick up here, so you don't end up dizzy. Breathe in, prepare. Breathe out. Let it hang. Breathe back up. Breathe. So we're just letting that hang at the bottom. Breathe in, flat, 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 stay up from the cage. And hang. Breathe back up. We're going to do just one more of those. Then we're going to take it onto the floor. We're going to stretch those, that lower body down. Hang. Bring it up. So bring it down. We are going to work into the last two for the upper body, and then we're going to work into the lower body. So we're going to do a lat stretch. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back into your child's pose. Child's pose. Lock the heels of your hand into the floor. Sit back then. So once you lock the heels of the hand into the floor and you sit back, it pulls here forward. What people do with the child's pose is they just sort of sit back, relax, and their arms are bent, they're on the floor, and they're sitting in a comfortable position, but you're not actually stretching anything. So if you understand me, if you're taking the hips, you make it a little bit in the hip, but you're not doing anything actively for that upper body or for your lats, which is what these are going to target. So if you plant the heels to the hands, if you're grabbing a bar, and then you sit back, now this is pulling right up from my upper back, bottom of the scapular, right through. Breathe. And what we're going to do to change that into a lat stretch more, we're going to put the hand to the outside of the mat. We're going to plant this hand on top of it, grab it, and sit back, and it's going to give a big pull on this left side. And that's really pulling right from below my rib cage, up through the side of my lat, into my shoulder, and right down through. That's a great stretch for the lats. Breathe. Take that up, change sides, hands to the center, left hand out, right hand grabs, set back. Again, getting a big stretch on this side. And last upper body one, we're going to sit down. Sit nice and tall, hands behind, fingers facing away from you, from here. And then I'm going to roll my shoulders back, push my chest out. So that with the palms flat, and this movement here, biceps, pecs, shoulders are going to get that stretch. And in order to keep that stretch, you can either stay tall, walk your hands back further, and just push that chest out again. If you're still not getting it, stay tall, scoot your butt forward a little bit until you get to that point where, there we go. Now don't slouch. If you get to here and you're slouch, not stretching. Chest up. Neutral spine. And walk that back, scoot the butt back slightly. So you can bring the hands out of it. So from there, we are going to put the foot on the knee, like we always do, and then you're going to just push that hip out. So hip into the glute, small bit of the groin, and this here stretch. So have this here 90 degrees, and just breathe and push that out. If you're really tight in through that hip and groin, you will need this. Inside, same thing, so foot up, get it up to 90 degrees, and then push that out. So when I push this out, it's hitting right here, into that sort of hip press of the joint. Let's get a little bit in the glute, and pull a little bit in through that inner thigh into the groin. And again, pushing to the point where I'm really getting that stretch, and there's a bit of discomfort, but it's not trying to push me back. My leg doesn't feel as if it's vibrating to try and push my hand away, which is important. We'll bring that down. So we're going to do 90 degrees, we're going to do a T with the hands, and then we're going to bring them legs over to the side. Breathe. As we're doing this, we want to try and get these knees together and keep them on the floor, but we also want to try and keep this shoulder on the floor. So now, when you're doing that, you're getting from the pec down through that waist, into that glute and hip, right down through. You can keep the hand on the knee if you want to emphasize it, and then when you breathe, rotate the body this way. And then we'll take that back to center, 90 degrees, lock the shoulder to the floor, and then breathe. So you can see that side's tighter. I'm going to plant that knee, and what I'm going to do is take a big breath in, and then we're going to breathe. I'm not going to push that hand to the floor, I'm going to rotate from my waist, so breathe out. Now I'm reaching this hand away from me, because if I try and reach it into the floor, I can always reach it into the floor. That's not the stretch. Breathe in again, relax a little bit, then breathe out, reach away. Now I'm getting that shoulder to the floor. I'm going to do one more, really get it into the floor. Breathe in, breathe out. And there's our stretch. Now hold. Relax into it. Every time you take a breath, imagine you're sinking into that floor more. Bring that back. I need that one. So 90 degrees with one leg. Lock the leg straight, pull your toes back towards your shins, start lifting it up till you feel that stretch. And hold. So that's, for me, is really tight today. I've done a couple of sessions on the turbo bike, and then I've been out walking a lot more, obviously because of our steps. So I'm really feeling that coming from that calf into here, the upper hamstring. And then if this here feels okay, what we don't want here is this. If you're bending the knee, you're not stretching the hamstring. Hamstring crosses the knee joint, the gastrocnemius of the calf crosses the knee joint. So the leg needs to be straight to get that stretch. And then if you want to emphasize more, you can stretch this out. So now you're getting that hip along with this stretch. But if you're not flexible enough, keep this up because it does allow you to get a little bit more of this just alone. Bend the knee, put that down. Leg straight. Lift, 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 lift. So this side isn't as tight. I've got my toes pulled back towards me as well. If I point the toe, I can always get a little bit further. But whenever you pull the toe back towards you, because the gastrocnemius of the calf crosses the knee, now you're getting that stretch because that calf's been pulled tight. So now it's really pulling into that stretch. And again, if you need, I might need to go back a bit to keep that leg straight. And then we're going to bring that down. So you're going to bring it right onto your side. Quad stretch. Bring the knee up to your chest. You can grab that foot. then knees together, push the body forward, stretch. So we're going to do one more on the floor after this. I'm going to do one more standing for the calf and the Achilles. We're going to change front to front. You can do it on your side. I'm just going to the front so I don't face away from you. Relax like that. We'll actually stretch up. Squeeze the glutes. And then we'll bring that round. The last one, just for that under groin, your typical sort of karate stretch. Soles of the feet together as much as you can. If you're up like this here and you're very slouched when you're doing this, you probably should elevate yourself, because what it is you're tight to sit on the floor in this position. Whereas if you elevate yourself up onto a box or something, you'll be able to get your spine straight in order to do this stretch. So if you have a small box, about 12 inches, if you sit up on that, this stretch will become way easier in order to do. What happens with people is when they come into this position, sitting on the floor, even in this position, they're automatically slouched because they're really tight through that lower back and through the hips. So that 90-degree position actually pulls them down here. Whereas if you elevate it, people go into a better posture. So if you have a small box, you can sit on that, and that'll help with this stretch immensely. Soles of the feet together, chest nice and tall. So we're going to sit into it, we're going to pull ourselves tall, and then we're just going to push our knees into that floor. And you can put the elbows in and do things like this here, but if you just concentrate on, as you push the knees out and down, you push your soles of the feet together. That's a good way to do it. People think about pushing the knees down, where what I like to do is, as I push the knees out, I jam the soles of my feet together, and I pull myself tall, so the feet are actually pushing together, which activates this to push out to the side. That's it, good, deep breaths. Again, if you want, you can help. You don't need it, and again, it's all about the body not fighting against you if you are doing it. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing just above my ankle, lightly on the shin, and as I sit tall, I'm forcing my elbows out, which is pushing these out, but I'm also still pushing my feet together and pushing the knees down. There's times when people do this here, they forget about the legs, are able to still move, as in push them down themselves. And we'll bring that up. So we're going to stand up. Two more that we're going to do. We're going to do a calf stretch, and then we're going to do a mobility for the Achilles tendon. So your calf stretch is against the wall. So I'm going to show you against the chair because obviously the wall's too far away. I'll be facing away from you. So from here, what people do with this here is they sort of bend into this here, or they end up like this here. We want the body straight against that wall. From here, you take a step back, get your heel down of the back foot, and then you straighten that body up. Once you straighten that body up, because this is straight now, that calf's getting stretched. If it's not getting stretched, you can go back further, straighten up. But what we don't want is that back knee bend, because that's not the purpose of this. The purpose of this is your calf stretch. So that's your position. I'm going to do it against the wall so I actually get a stretch. And then I'm going to push against that wall. So I'm jamming that back heel into the floor. I'm jamming my hip forward, squeezing, and getting that stretch for that calf. Then we'll change. Heel down, step forward, body straight, straighten the body up, squeeze the glutes, push into the wall. We'll bring that out. And then our Achilles stretch, I'm going to do it against the wall, but you can do it here as well. So we're actually going to bend the foot this time, so the back knee is going to bend. So don't worry about this foot. We're doing this leg here. So what we're going to do, your Achilles is down here. We need to bend the knee, but we need to keep that heel down. So as I sit here, I'm going to push this knee forward, 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 by keeping that heel jammed into the floor. And now this Achilles is getting that stretch. You can do it against the wall. You can elevate your toe and sort of lean into it if you need, but this here for most people is plenty. It's about finding that right position so that you're not just feeling as if you're sitting down and not stretching or your heel up. Bring that up, same thing other side. From there, I'm going to sit down. As I sit back, so think about sitting back. I'm not just slouching out into it. I'm actively pushing my hips back, but as I push back, I'm driving this knee forward. So the weight's going this way, but this heel is staying down. So the lower I go, that ankle's going into flexion, or the foot joint, so the Achilles is getting that stretch. And we'll bring it up out of that. And we'll do one more. Again, we're going to do one more. We're going to do the 90-90 stretch. It's a good stretch. Similar to what we do on the floor where the foot comes up and the hip goes out. Bring that foot up. Sit up nice and tall. This could already be a stretch for you to get into this position, but we don't want again a slouch. So sit tall, 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here, and then we're just rest. I can put more pressure on if you can. Don't, but we're just trying to keep that body tall, push that hip out, breathe into it. Again, it's a good one for getting into the glute and hip if you're tightening through that. Between sides. Put up, sit up nice and tall. Tall posture is always important in all the stretches. So once you slouch, breathe and put that down. Once you slouch into a stretch, I'm here, so I'm sitting tall now, I've got a good stretch in through that hip. If I slouch, a stretch isn't the same, because the muscles of the back that are getting pulled and held in the stretch because of my posture are lost when I slouch. So once I sit back up again and I put that pressure on, straight away that stretch is more for me. So posture is important in all of your stretching. This is the reason Pilates works, because you're doing everything through good technique and good posture. And then we'll bring that down. And that's us, guys. So everything should be well listened out there now. Not as flowy as we have done other weeks, but I want to put more emphasis on really holding that stretch. To listen out through the pecs, shoulders, that lower back, Achilles, calves. We're doing a lot of work at the moment, so we just need to focus a lot more on our mobility and our stretching. Have a good Saturday, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that. We'll see you back on Monday for our full body work.